What's up, everybody? Welcome back into our Pro Football Network Senior Bowl preview, where we take a look at various positions and some of the top players are not talked about enough players in this week's Senior Bowl festivities with practice and the game this Saturday in Mobile, Alabama on Saturday, January 30th. I'm Cody Rourke, Senior NFL Analyst for ProFootballNetwork.com to talk about some of these exciting prospects this week in Mobile. I'm joined by Ian Cummings and Dalton Miller, Senior Draft Analyst over here, ProFootballNetwork.com. Dalton, I want to start off with you when it comes to the offensive line, the one position where it requires you to be big, tough, physical, gritty, and somewhat versatile now. The days of the big old hog offensive tackles, we don't really see that too much because a lot of the offensive philosophies have changed to getting those tackles out into space, screen plays, stuff to get you to the next level to get after safeties. So you have to have a combination of strength and versatility altogether. I feel like that's a theme of what we talk about with several of these key positions here. But starting off with you, who is in lineman this week that you have your eyes on at Senior Bowl practice?
Yeah, I think that this could be a really, really big week for Iowa's Alaric Jackson. I mean, he's somebody who has played a ton of football for Iowa throughout the years. And it's going to be a big week for him because this might be his audition for offensive tackle at the next level, because there are talks about him having to move inside. If he can get into one-on-ones this week and show that he can survive later in reps, because when you see him, he's somebody who comes off the ball very well. His initial strikes are very, very accurate. It's staying with guys throughout the process that makes things more difficult. Now, I think when you're talking about teams, some teams will covet him more because he can get out there, quick sets, the quick passing attack. That's something that he'll be really good with. It's the longer developing passing plays, the Eric Coryell style offenses that he might not be a fit in, or he might be pushed in to be a guard in that level. So I think this is going to be a big week for him to show he can hang with the guys at offensive tackle. And I think that if he can go out there and do that, you're looking at a guy who I wouldn't mind seeing, late in day 2 or early day 3, who has starting ability.
Ian, I'm going to throw it to you next. You talk about the ability. Iowa has always produced some great offensive linemen, some strong, sturdy names. And I think it's just a focal point of their physical nature of football. But now in the NFL, it's a different animal. Who do you have your eye on this week, Ian, when it comes to practices in the game this Saturday?
Yeah, the offensive line is going to be a big subject this week. I'm particularly interested in the FCS offensive linemen. You got Spencer Brown from Northern Iowa. You got Quinn Miners from Wisconsin Whitewater. I am more interested to see Dillon Radunz out of North Dakota State, the Bison. It's the same school that Trey Lance went to. Radunz, he's a little undersized for his height, 6'6", might weigh in under 300. That's going to be interesting to see how he weighs in, because he's definitely underweight for an offensive lineman. But you watch him play, I think he's an excellent athlete, and he has a lot of length. And the key with length is, if you have the get off, you need to be able to transfer that length and explosiveness into power. Use that length as a conduit. I have seen him done that. I think he needs to string together some more consistency, add some more weight, and prove that he can make the leap to the NFL. And this Senior Bowl showcase is going to be a big stepping stone for him in that process. So I'm really excited for him. Has to prove some things, but has a ton of upside and can be a good part of this offensive tackle class.
Yeah, I think proving that he can do it against the higher end competition is going to be huge for him, because there were, like you said, some inconsistencies in his tape. I think he's very country strong in that sense, where he's kind of a brawler. I think that he could even get better technically. And if he does add a little bit of weight, if he adds a little bit of strength, I do think that he can hold up and he can be a legitimate starting left tackle in the NFL. I just think that his transition might take a little bit longer than you would like to see from a potential top 50 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the game is won in the trenches, folks, between the offensive line and the defensive line. It's a perfect combination. And really, for offensive line play, a lot of people don't talk about it enough, but really the angles that they take to get there. And so I think they're going to have great coaching, obviously, this week with Brian Flores, the Dolphins staff, and Matt Rule and the Carolina Panthers staff as well. A lot of offensive line, maybe not as deep of a class altogether on the O-line as last year's draft class, but there are some potential steals out of the offensive line this year at Mobile, Alabama, folks. And that's our preview of the offensive line. Be sure to stay tuned with us this week as we get into some of the defensive position previews, starting off with safety in our next installment here on our Senior Bowl preview at ProFootballNetwork.com.